The Tale of Kibo and the Magical Paintbrush. In a small village nestled in the rolling hills of Africa, there lived a young boy named Kibo. Kibo loved to paint and dreamed of becoming the greatest artist in the land. One day, while exploring the forest, Kibo stumbled upon a magical paintbrush hidden behind a waterfall. The paintbrush sparkled with glittering stars and shimmering colors. Excited by his discovery, Kibo rushed back to his village and began to paint with the magical brush. To his amazement, his paintings came to life. But as Kibo continued to paint, he began to notice that his creations were causing trouble in the village. A painting of a giant elephant knocked over a market stall, while a picture of a mischievous monkey stole food from the villagers' kitchens. The villagers were upset and asked Kibo to stop painting. But Kibo didn't want to give up his magical brush. He thought that the problems were not his fault, but rather the fault of the villagers for not being careful enough. One wise old man in the village approached Kibo and said, "Kibo, my young friend, with great power comes great responsibility. Your magical paintbrush is a gift, but it's up to you to use it wisely." Kibo thought about the old man's words and realized that he had been selfish and irresponsible. He decided to use his magical brush to create beautiful and helpful things for the village. With his newfound sense of responsibility, Kibo painted a beautiful garden that bloomed with vibrant flowers, a sparkling fountain that provided fresh water for the villagers, and a sturdy bridge that connected the village to the nearby town. The villagers were overjoyed and thanked Kibo for his thoughtful creations. From that day on, Kibo used his magical paintbrush to make the world a more beautiful and better place. Moral lesson that we learn from the story. You know how Kibo's magical paintbrush made his paintings come to life? Well, just like Kibo's paintbrush, our actions and choices can bring good or bad things into the world. When Kibo first got the paintbrush, he was so excited to use it that he didn't think about how his paintings might affect others. He just painted whatever he wanted, and it caused trouble in the village. But then Kibo learned an important lesson. With great power comes great responsibility. This means that when we have the power to do something, we also have the responsibility to think about how it might affect others. Just like Kibo, we all have the power to make choices that can bring good or bad things into the world. We can choose to be kind or mean, to help or hurt others. So, what can we learn from Kibo's story? We can learn to think carefully about our actions and choices, and to consider how they might affect others. We can learn to use our power wisely, just like Kibo learned to use his magical paintbrush wisely. Remember, every time you make a choice or take an action, you have the power to bring good or bad things into the world. So always try to think carefully and choose wisely.